fans. This is the Archeons band with the next podcast series of the Arc Hive, talking to you from, of course, Nashville, Tennessee. We hope that you're having a great day, whether you're listening with us locally in the surrounding territories or anywhere on the go around the country. We're here to tell you about the next segment of the Arc Hive. First off, let's introduce the team one more time. Of course, we got Chris Huff on vocals. We got our boy T. Swain on guitar. We got K. Nasty on guitar over here. And, of course, B. Stin on drums. Don't you forget young Cody over here rocking the computer, making sure that we can get you all the links to everything Archeons down below. Don't forget, of course, the Forge Reality and YouTube channel, of course, down below. Feel free to check us out. Today, we're going to be talking to you about Consuming Gravity, part of our EP, of course, again, the Forced Reality. Mr. Huff, what is this song about?
This song is about basically if the singularity ever happened and everything just goes ape shit, and basically watching the world burn around you with your loved one.
Deep. Yeah. Trey, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, so just like pretty much wars are fought through artificial intelligence. Like we're using robots to fight these wars and AI and pretty much just watching everything crash around you, knowing that it was a part of your creation and knowing that your loved one's going to die because of our like greed and want and for technological advancement and stuff. And so it's just like, yeah, like we're fucked, and now my partner or children
or dog
they die. Yeah, so
that's pretty brutal.
Keep barking.
So, of course, it's a bleak outlook there, with that apocalyptic kind of thought process there. Gentlemen, how likely do you find this apocalyptic scenario?
50-50.
50-50?
Yeah, I don't think we can really tell, but I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, I'm on the optimistic side of
for sure
of it. I mean, I could see it going that way. I could see it being cool. So yeah,
I think either way, like even if the singularity doesn't happen per se, like even if they gain sentience or whatnot, I think just us having that technology as humans, we're gonna fuck each other up with it.
Yeah,
so.
Hopefully not, but hopefully we'll adapt
and overcome. So speaking of adapting and overcome, it brings us back full circle again to the AI, which we will touch on in a minute. But adapting and overcoming, it made me want to think a little bit about Consuming Gravity was like our first, I feel like, real big video that we put out there. How do you feel, Trey, about comparing the amount of work and effort that went into putting the Soul Drift lyric video out compared to Consuming Gravity?
Consuming Gravity was not horrible because we just filmed in the garage, and so we just took a couple different takes and everything and played around with it, and it was a lot of just like editing and different angles. We didn't do it like Beneath the Waves, it was more of like we'd play a section and then cut, which I don't think was a good way to do it, so that made it a little bit more not fun. But compared to Soul Drift, I would say it was many hours less of work.
Yeah, it seemed like it took a lot less time editing.
Well, that's always a good thing. Brian, how do you feel about like Consuming Gravity overall, like the process that went into everything with it?
It's like a beast of a song, so it took like a pretty good amount of time to get all that worked out, and some like of the trickiest stuff we have, like rhythm wise,
yeah,
in that song. So it's still like I still have parts I need to woodshed or whatever they call, like just sit and work, whatever.
No, you're right. Woodshed. Yeah,
lock
that's
myself somewhere.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Woodshed. He's right.
The cool thing about like this whole EP and like breaking down everything behind the scenes for the fans, is just the whole process that's gone into it and all the things that we've learned along the way. Chris, do you maybe want to tell the fans a little bit about, do you remember who our filmographer was for that music video?
That's Mr. Sam.
Mr. Sam, tell the fans about him.
Have we mentioned Skin Cabs yet?
No.
Can we mention
Absolutely.
So.
It's the time.
He's a really good friend of ours, and he shot the video for us.
Yeah, he like tried out for the band and didn't exactly work out. He's a great vocalist and everything too. But so that's how we met him, is he tried out, and then he was just super cool and was like, yo, we should hang out. And I remember like first being like, I don't know, like is this some kind of, because it's just like hard in music, you always kind of feel like something's a scam or something. And he just ended up being like a huge,
super cool dude.
He's great. He's helped us out so much.
I feel we mentioned, did we mention NAMM at all?
Not yet.
Because he was the whole reason we went to NAMM last year.
Yeah.
Because of his business.
Yeah.
Is it? Are we allowed to talk about this? No. Okay. Well, we're not.
There are. Can we say there's some issues?
Yeah, there's some like stuff
There's
going
just
on.
some
Hopefully,
legal issues going on.
and hopefully we'll get like dive deeper into all that because it is a
Yeah.
huge part of us and everything.
Yeah, he's just a really cool
Just
dude.
can't say the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has
Well, if you
got-
guys watch the Consuming Gravity music video, you'll see these things with TV screens on them.
Yeah.
He made those.
Yeah. Pretty
he
great.
crafted those. Yeah, he's a crazy dude. Insanely talented.
Yep.
Definitely love him for sure. All right, so moving on a little bit, is there any parts of the song to you guys in particular that really just like hit you? Like any part of the song, the lyrics really speak to you, or the guitar really speaks to you?
I love the bridge when everything kind of like drops out and it's like just the strings, and then like I don't have a lot of these, but like when I sing in the lower register,
Yeah.
it's probably my favorite part of the song.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can agree too. Definitely the low singing, because there's some cool like effects on the vocals there. But I think we
The
would do-
doubler.
doubler, yeah,
Yeah.
doubler.
Yeah. And I remember like
I think
just,
the lyrics there are dope too.
yeah, just going into the song, like just wanted it to be like pretty and brutal. Like that was kind of there's a lot of work. Man, this song went through so much shit. Like it
Talk
started off.
about it, man.
There's probably
So I had a lot of riffs. This is one of the first songs that I was tinkering around with. I had a lot of riffs from my old band back home, and I was trying to like bring them over because I thought it was cool at the time, but obviously you grow and stuff. And so the first rendition of this song was just nonsense. It didn't
Yeah.
make sense. And this is when Chris and I first started working together, and he was just talking shit, and it hit me hard. And it's like you got to learn how to.
not true. It's
No,
called
he wasn't
criticism.
talking. Yeah. But no, it was like it was a lot of like getting past like feeling personally attacked about
Just
music.
wood benching your song, dude.
Yeah.
Woodshed your song, my bad.
Woodshed. No. But yeah, and so like it went through so much stuff, and then like it just continued evolving, and then Chris coming in and throwing in his influences and shit, and so yeah, because I wanted it to be melodic, and Chris is really good at writing like the harmonies and stuff, guitar harmonies, and so I remember having just like these ideas, and he'd take them and expand upon it and make it prettier and make more sense and stuff.
Yeah, well, it was probably pretty miserable for him at the start because it just took on so many forms.
Yeah, there's
we
so
went
many
through it
different
so many
versions.
times, and it's still isn't it like one of the long songs in the EP.
Yeah,
If not the longest.
It is
5,
the
6
longest.
minutes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think there was one riff in there that I kept from the very beginning.
Jesus,
so
that's
there's one riff
Yeah.
that made it all the way through,
Wow.
and that was it. Everything else changed. I mean, the concept was there, and everything. The structure really wasn't there, and everything. It was just
Yeah,
it was just the idea to be melodic and then heavy, and bounce back between those two.
Yeah.
Well, and it's so cool that you guys as a guitar duo and us as a band are able to take criticism from one another and be able to build off of that. Because I'm sure for some of the fans at home, any of you guys starting out right now, any of you guys starting to chase your dreams or learn more about music, creating your own content, it can definitely feel like Chris was saying, like when you have something and you're starting out and it's not quite polished and it's not quite right, that it can just get so frustrating.
Yeah. Well, and like a lot of it, you kind of feel it's stupid. I mean, it really is stupid now, and knowing where I'm at, and like where we're at and stuff. But you feel like personally attacked when your idea, like this is really cool, and the thing is, you're sitting there writing and you listen over and over, and then so you kind of grow attached to it, and so you feel like personally attacked in a weird way. But like it's not that at all. It's like obviously just somebody who you have to respect them and take their criticism and be like, okay, like this is a phenomenal musician telling me that this is not up to par, and it makes things better because then you find that common ground and you get something that's everybody enjoys.
Yeah. It's like a symphony, man.
Yeah.
I was literally listening to a podcast today, Drinks by Johnny, with Avenged Sevenfold's bassist, in case anybody doesn't know, and they were talking about this exact topic, and they called it the band that was on it, the Dirty Heads or something like that. I hope that's right because they're really cool. But they were talking about how they call it the ugly baby syndrome, where it's like you have an ugly baby, and your song idea is the ugly baby. So
That
you're
is
like you're
so true
attached
in
to
real
it.
life.
Yeah, and I was like,
But you
damn,
can never.
it's so real. Yeah,
There's no good way to tell someone that they have an ugly baby.
yeah.
You just have to say like,
You like don't want to
Bro,
accept
just
it.
spin it and make it positive. Like, oh, they'll probably
Bro,
be
you need to sit
cute.
down. I gotta tell you something.
They'll be cute
Exactly.
in the future. At some point, they'll
Just
be.
thought it was
they'll look
spot
better.
on.
Oh, for sure.
But that's how it is, man. That's being in a band. You gotta like compromise, but it only gets better, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You just start learning that, you know. Well, and okay, we're gonna get really deep here.
All right.
But especially when Chris and I first joined, like we're both kind of like lead guitarists and stuff, and so like I remember the first feelings of him like not saying that he didn't like something, especially if it was a lead, and I'd be like, is it because he wants to do something here or something, like just stupid shit, like egotistical things.
Yeah.
You know, and then you just kind of, as you put those feelings aside, you realize like, you know, this is a musician who is incredible, and like obviously that's not the case because we're on the same team. You know, like that's all it's about is working together and trying to make something good.
The whole point is serve the song.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
not
Whether
yourself.
it means that you go however long without playing a note. It's like,
For sure, and that's
and once
like, you know,
everyone's on the same page that that's all where we're coming from and that's the goal, then
And
it's
you know
like
you got something.
the
and
ego
that, I
stuff
think that's
kinda goes away.
a huge thing that I've learned since like the beginning of moving to Nashville and
Yeah,
stuff.
100%.
Is a lot of the time, like, you know, it would just be like you're writing a lead just so you can, for you know, you're writing a lead so you can be like, hey, look, I can play the guitar.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just something I think we're all kind of getting past. So
Yeah, that's something I've gotten past myself. Is
Yeah.
like not coming out the gate singing as high as I can.
yeah, it's just like you
It's
have
all
your
about the
moments to
song.
shine, you know, to shine, and they'll come. It's like you don't have to write these crazy fast licks or anything just to prove a point, you know.
Right. It's
It'll
all
come
about
through.
serving the music.
Yeah.
You know? It always makes me think of like Jack Black when, you know, he's getting kicked out of his first band at the beginning of School of Rock. And he's
yeah.
like, you forgot about a little something. It's called the music.
Oh god, I need to watch that movie again.
And it's so good. I have seen School of Rock, no joke, probably like 40 times.
Yes.
Yeah, fair.
Me too. Back in the day.
I was like their age too back when like
Yeah,
I feel
right.
like we were like their age when it came out, so it was
Yes,
like extra
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah.
I had like a complete crush on Miranda Cosgrove when we were both like 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a crush on the bassist chick, I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cello.
Oh yeah.
Hello. She's a minor.
Hello.
I was a minor though at the time.
I was.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I was 9.
You know, it's interesting. Like, I was thinking about how you're talking about how some of your favorite parts of Consuming Gravity are like the lower vocals. And it's kind of ironic because it has the highest note off the whole
It does.
EP.
No, yeah, like right after that.
But,
yeah.
well, that's the cool thing. That's like
Yeah.
a dynamic
Yeah.
thing. I remember writing that. I was like, is this going to transition well and everything? And it just, man, I remember fucking when Huff did that because we were going to do the note right before he hits that really high note. That was the note we were going for. And he was just fucking around and he hit it. And I was like, oh my God. Because this is like when we were still learning about Huff and like what he could do. And I just remember being like blown away. And I was like, okay, we got to do it again because like we can't do it if that was just like a one-off kind of thing. And then it's actually double taked on the EP too. So 2 vocal layers on there, him hitting that note.
It
So
is
sick
so
part.
nuts. It's so high.
That's like my favorite part of the video too, where it's slow mode.
oh yeah,
It's like holding it up. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. When you first did that vocal, like when I first heard how high it was, I just kind of imagined like exploding testicles.
That's what he was going for.
But right on.
Yeah, if your
How do you think you
if your
hit that
testicles
note?
aren't exploding, I don't even want to fucking hit it.
It's the only way to sing Archeons content. No.
Clothespins.
What's that?
Clothespins.
yeah.
All right. Clothespins on the nuts.
Oh, okay, I'll have to try that.
Oh, you didn't know?
Oh,
Okay.
jeez. Some insider trade secrets, right?
Damn it, Huff. You gave it away.
So I always love taking time, you know, to look at the chorus and the lyrics that are present in the chorus. And I believe it's what if this world we used to know, correct? Is just a lie that we've been calling home. You'll always be my gravity, but now you're just a memory. So talking about how this world we used to know is just a lie that we've been calling home, like why is it a lie?
You know, kind of in this like catastrophic scenario, like I thought of, I imagined that like, you know, we see these patterns happen over and over again. Even if the singular does happen and it ends with AI, you know, we've had catastrophic events in our past before. Like the patterns are there, whether it be like the flood or, you know, like a comet or a meteorite. Like, I don't know. I just think like there's these patterns here and we don't pay attention and we're too caught up in our lives to like take a moment to like look at all this passing us and like, I don't know. I do think society as it is like we get so caught up in it and not like take the moment to appreciate life for what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
Well, it's like the lie that we've been calling home, because it's like these things can, this world can end, and we don't think of that, you know, and that's like
Any
Elon.
moment,
Yeah, that's like Elon's thing for, you know, getting to another planet and stuff, and so I feel nice. I feel like it's just like we're saying like we feel the world is eternal,
Right.
but it's not.
Yeah, 'cause
And
it feels like it.
It does, yeah. Well, and like in our lifetime, I'm sure the world's gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's just we can't comprehend, you know, how long it'll last.
So
We're taking the relative peace for granted.
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
That's true.
Then You'll Always Be My Gravity is like just about being like you're grounded from
Yeah.
you know with
Talking
the ones that
talking
you love.
about that person that kind of like I said, like we do just kind of ignore everything, but that one person like
Right.
kind of makes everything right and kind of grounds you, like you said.
Brings you back down to reality.
Yeah.
And then, like we said at the beginning, like just with the fact of like knowing it's your fault that all this shit is happening, but
Yeah.
you kind of had a part to play in it. You know, it just becomes a memory after that.
Yeah, it's nuts for sure. Should have prepared a little bit.
No, you're good. Honestly, all these lyrics, they get really cool. Like the rapture is coming for us all, and everything. I mean, it's like it's not necessarily the rapture that we think of, but it's about like purging, pretty much. It's like humans are being purged, and I love that in the verse and everything. I think
It's dark.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it gets so brutal, especially like right after, like in the bridge
Yeah.
and everything. So like, scroll down a little. Okay, so now we'll talk about the bridge, because I love those lyrics. The I will not let go, you're all I've ever known. This is like when the world is actually ending. My satellite will go out bright and watch the sky as it implodes. That's just talking about, you know, literally watching like nuclear bombs go off around you.
Yeah.
Like just things are imploding, and you're sitting here with the person that you love and just watching it together, and it's like you know that you
fucked up.
yeah, you know that you can't do anything, and it's just this really dark scenario of like this is it, like this is our last moment together. And that's why, so the fire burns straight through you, just know you're not alone. And that literally is going into like you're being burnt alive by these, you know, explosions and everything.
Yeah.
And so then we get, you know, they give me your heart and you'll take mine, I'll see you on the other side. It's just about death. And this next part is my absolute favorite. I remember when we were working on this, so we were talking about how we wanted it to be like you're holding hands with the person you love. So the lyrics, our bodies merge as we fade away, and we were talking about that's literally like
Our atoms getting infused.
your skin melting together from like just
That's true love.
It sounds like such a beautiful lyric.
yeah.
But it's so fucked up.
Yeah, it's like you're literally melting into each other from the explosions and everything, and it's like your bodies are molding together and everything, and then consumed by light, my love, don't be afraid, we've lost all grip on our minds, which is actually a callback to
Call back to Soldier.
yep. And then plagued by our actions is an evolve, and so we were, you know, tying into like those things. And then, man, there's just so many lyrics I love in this. So, Bloodlust, take control. This is cool. So it starts off with bloodlust, like one word, take control. A false representation, red on our hands, our conscience is clean. So this is about pretty much how when it's not affecting you, your conscience is clean. Like if you're murdering people across the country for your country with artificial intelligence, you're like, it's fine. You're like,
Because it's
you
not
don't
actually you.
yeah, you don't feel any like remorse or anything.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, and then it goes into destruction for all visions of horror that can't be unseen. This is when it's like, oh, you realize like this is affecting you, and like this has been affecting people for, let's just say, generations or however long it's been. But then it's cool because then we go bloodlust control, like
3 separate
separated.
words,
yeah. So that's like talking about
like what's wrong with society and stuff like that.
yeah, just about how you know, like these are the things that we've been so fixated on, and yeah, it's brutal. So
I like that though. I like a song that has good, brutal, hard-hitting lyrics
Yeah.
for sure.
I like what you're saying. How like this is you said like this has been something that's been going on for like generations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I even said this earlier. Like things go in patterns. Like there's been world-ending things that happened in the past.
Right.
Like where like civilizations and species
True,
were just
yeah.
wiped out. So, and like, we were talking about this off camera, but like, if you're familiar with Grant Hancock, he goes into like the species with amnesia theory that like we used to be way smarter. That's how we built the pyramids and like the whole Giza Plateau. The Sphinx is like actually 13,000 years old or something like that versus like 6,000 where they thought it was. But no, I think it's entirely possible that like on this planet we've been to the point where like at least where we are now, maybe a few hundred years back, something around this intelligence level. I feel like it's a good possibility because we have all these old, long-standing, beautiful pieces of architecture that we can't even replicate today. So like, it's just fun to think about like if we do go forward with AI and it does wipe shit out, like.
It's the Fermi paradox.
Is it going to be remembered or like?
Yeah. I mean, that just goes back into kind of like the Fermi paradox about how, which we've already talked about, but
or is it just like a reset button? We start over again.
Yeah, and that's what the Fermi paradox is. It's like something prevents you from progressing far enough to expand.
Going back to the beginning, that's like, I think it's just a matter of time.
Mm.
Like it's not like is there going to be another world-ending apocalyptic thing. I think it's just I don't think it's like if it will or not. I think it's just like how long.
Like can we get far enough advanced that we can prevent it in a way?
Right.
And like that's what I'm saying.
If we collectively
to where we don't care about it anymore.
Yeah.
If we collectively like organize, we definitely have the potential and resources as far as like our capabilities to like create something that works for everyone. But it's just like it's just like grown children like are the issue. Just like,
oh yeah, just pressing buttons.
Yeah,
it's nuts, man. I mean, like even just today, I was waiting tables, in restaurant form, and
another form.
In restaurant form, and this lady was sitting there with her daughter, and her daughter had to be the same age as me, if not older, and she was just all up in her phone, and she started ordering for her because her daughter just wouldn't put her phone down, just wouldn't look away.
That's why I can't wait to have a kid so I can just smack them. Because I will
in public.
But see, like this goes back to what we talked about too. But it's just because it's different than how we were, so it seems wrong.
But at the end of the day, no matter how far technology goes, you have to just learn to be like a decent human being.
Yeah.
Like that's.
But what if decent human being becomes like all online? It's like what if she was like being a cool person to somebody that she was talking to? I agree with you. I feel the same way with my kid. I'm just saying it's like that's how we think because of how we grew up, and it's like I feel like you need to look people in the eye when you talk to them and stuff, and like so many people aren't like that. Like kids and stuff aren't like that, and it's.
Well, it could also be like when like TV was brand new and like radio was brand new. I'm sure like people were having talks like this about like, how much is this going to change everything?
Exactly. It's like their kids were just sitting down and watching TV.
Well, it's like you go from nothing and then you're all the way into it, and then eventually it just kind of like balances out. Like this could be another thing like that where it's like we're just like we're going all the way in to this technology, mobile, whatever, and eventually just we learn that it's good for some things, not good for others. If we can learn to like control it and set aside time to not be on it and like to just be a regular person still, because like what we wake up to every day isn't going away anytime soon. Probably not as far as like just reality and like talking to people.
Yeah, I think regardless of technology, I think technology can do good things. I think just the applications we're focused on. Shit right now.
Well, it's because they can really monetize.
It's designed to bring out the worst because that's
pretty,
when it's like hitting an orgasm button.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Like give a rat an orgasm button.
How to like extend life, the life on Earth, extend like the conditions on Earth. We're just like, man, make things faster.
Yeah.
Well, and what kind of concerns me, like I even think of like this setting we have going on right now, which is perfect, for as we've talked about how the internet can equip us, social media can equip us to ascend in careers and fields in ways that were never possible before. But also, like, when you think about it, like, realistically, let's say the world ends tomorrow. You know, is being a podcaster really like a survival skill?
Right, yeah.
No.
I think discussions like this are good because it opens people up. And
Sure.
True for humans, yeah. Absolutely.
Well,
Discussions like this can only happen when you're to a level of like comfort
Yeah.
to like
You know-
free your mind apart from just like I'm gonna try not to get eaten today.
Yeah.
So, like you can
Yeah.
think about like, are we in a big like?
you know,
Are we in
I
a
do
bat?
wonder.
You know,
That's kind of the bittersweet part is we're kind of safe right now.
Yeah, well, that's
Still
what,
our
like,
human instinct.
how would we... It would be really interesting to see how we would all react in, like, survival mode.
Oh, bro,
You know?
I'd slay.
it's easy.
See, like-
it's easy to say what you would do.
Well, I feel like,
Yeah,
but I feel
exactly.
like those things are still kind of in us, and like we would do the things that were necessary. You
Yeah.
know, I think like I think it would be hard at first, but it would kind of take over.
Yeah, survival would kick in.
But yeah, I mean, like a lot of the skills that I
Definitely.
have wouldn't be great for survival, but I feel like we can still adapt, and I wonder if that will ever really leave our DNA.
Well, and, you know, it's just thinking about this whole topic of the apocalypse and if things ended tomorrow, like, what would we do? Like, one of the biggest things that I think is a huge concern for us especially is we live in a, you know, talking about like post-industrial area where farming used to be such a big thing, and our major supplies of food are, I have no idea where they are. I have no idea where our chicken comes
Idaho,
from.
it has potatoes. I know that.
Yeah.
We just all go to Idaho and eat potatoes.
you know that big area of the United States where not a lot of people live?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
parts that are the worst to drive through are probably where all the food is.
True.
But
Shout out
yeah,
to
that's
Kansas.
like we're so far removed from like the whole process of like
Right.
What's unfortunate about
killing
that,
our
too,
food
is
and
it's
growing
like
our food.
all like these monopolies basically too. Like it's all owned by like the same fucking people.
Right.
So
right.
it's like
I mean, you know, you think about it that way. Those people who are in power and have all that disposable to them right now, if the world ended tomorrow,
oh, they'd be fine.
they'd probably be just fine.
Yeah.
Because they have
Well, not if the
everything.
world then they wouldn't exist.
Well,
we're
according to
talking
Alex Jones, they'll all just go with NASA
underground.
and fly away in their secret
Yeah.
spaceships
Or
to
go
their
underground. That's the
Elon
backup
would be good.
planet.
You guys ever see any of that, like, preppers stuff?
Oh yeah,
You know?
that's
No.
goals right there.
I
Take
feel
a
that's
shipping
the way.
container and just bury it like 2 stories in the ground, and then stock it with like 20 years worth of food and like 40
Like, comment,
years
and
worth of
subscribe
porn.
so we can afford our next shipping
Then it just
container.
floods from water.
Yeah, right.
God damn it.
Man, it's just tough though. Like, you know, I've thought about this, and like, if something ever happened and it was post-apocalyptic, if
Is that a Breaking Benjamin song?
Sound of
Or 3 Days Grace?
ooh, it is
It's a banger.
Banger.
post-apocalyptic. Jesus
Apocalyptica?
Christ, yeah,
That's
that's
Poca Poca.
Nippleopolis.
Start
Detective
speaking
Pikachu.
Jewish.
Anyway,
It's a
like,
nippleopolyptic.
like would I even want to survive is my thing. It's like I'm so accustomed to like
Yeah.
these daily beautiful things where I can
Technology.
Yeah.
Being on your
It's like-
phone all the
like would I want to live to
distracted.
survive after
When we'll be
living
chasing around
through-
chickens, snapping their necks, and
Yeah.
eating
It's
their
just
babies.
like, and I wonder that. I'm just like, would I really like, is survival that important to me? And that's,
I think for most people, like there's definitely some people that would be like, nah, I don't care. But I think for like 80-90% people, instinct would kick in.
yeah, I think so. And that's weird to me because I'm like, why? Like, what the fuck would I do? Like, I wouldn't be able to play guitar anymore. You know, I mean, I guess I could.
You
but-
might find something new.
I mean, I think it just
Maybe you
gives.
like hunting.
I think it just gives new value to those things that are extra, or that are apart from just like survival.
Yeah.
Like now, that's all we have to do. So I feel like we take it for granted. But
Yeah,
it's like,
I couldn't
it's like
take a
if I can
selfie
survive
and
another
upload it.
day, I could like play a half hour of guitar by the beach. You know what I mean? Like you'd be
Yeah.
like, you'd live for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, we adapt so fast, so you
do.
figure it out. If you survived,
Or I just fucking kill myself.
then you're a waste.
Like, put a link down below for suicide. Like, please don't. Please don't.
Unless the world
Like,
ends, then it's cool.
You can talk
Well, I
to
think
our
your
gods
choice.
if you're having
But that could be a
thoughts.
serious talk though, like
We're here
about
for
like.
ya.
I think that causes a lot of like depression. Well, I say depression because it's like, you know, no one. It's hard to tell if you're really depressed, but well, I guess it's not. You know what I'm saying? People say
so?
they're depressed when they're just sad or when something's wrong, but I think real
yeah.
depression is like a lack of like that struggle or like any
I
type
think it's a
of.
lack of
100%.
fulfillment.
Oh, yeah. I think
Yeah, it's just like you have to
finding
try
that
to do hard things.
Yeah.
Like do hard things because
Yeah, you're
I
not
feel
putting
like-
puts
stressful
you back in your
situations
place.
enough,
Yeah.
It's about like pushing.
You gotta overcome shit.
Right.
And like,
Which is tough because, like I said, we're so like safe. And
Well, I think that's the problem.
We
That's
don't
why
have to
people,
do
like-
hard things.
Well, yeah,
we have
we
to
don't.
choose to do them, which is next level. Like,
But also, you have to consider, and we don't want to. I don't know if I want to get like too deep into the topic of depression, but I always want to make sure to take the time to speak, directly to you guys at home, directly to you guys on your drive right now, wherever you're at. Talking from, that depression perspective. That, there is stuff today that we don't know. Home lives are crazy. There's a lot of people that are really going through a lot of hard stuff right now. Certainly it's not hunting and gathering for some, but it definitely makes you wonder, like, how would people do in that scenario after that? But like you were saying, that instinct would probably kick in.
Yeah. I think that's a cool point too, and that's the one thing I always try to think of is it's so easy to get pissed off at people, like, because you just see them being like an asshole or something, but it's like you don't know what somebody's going through.
Right.
It's like they could have just had something terrible happen to them.
Exactly.
And like I always try to keep that in mind. If somebody cuts me off in traffic or something, I'm like, what if there's like an emergency and they're
because we've been that guy before ourselves.
Yeah, and it's just like it's so easy to. Because I feel like as humans, like, we're very self-centered anyway, and it's hard not to be.
It is hard
because you're surrounded by yourself constantly. Yeah. So it's like easy to be like, this person's ruining my day because they did this, but it's like who knows like what they're going through. Like, I mean it's true. You just never know. I mean, there's a lot of fucked up situations I could say, but we'll just leave it at that. Like, it's like you never know in your daily life. When you meet somebody and say they piss you off, just try to be like, who knows?
Well, it's amazing how much difference you can make in somebody's world by just two things: a smile and hello.
Yeah.
Because it's so shocking how seldom sometimes people hear that. Is even just a hello with a smile.
Especially now. Because everybody's like,
Yep.
Yeah, man, it's just about being a chill mofo. Like, I think.
You gotta live that sunglasses emoji life,
Yeah.
Smiling with the
True real.
sunglasses.
But yeah, we should dive into about building AI for like war, technology for war.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what it made me want to think of, I think the mic cut out before we got a chance to talk about it, but film theory, you're talking about with game theory, Matt Pat, he had this excellent video. It's one of my favorite videos. If you want to look it up, Cody, that would be amazing. We could maybe even throw it down below as a link. But as far as talking about an end game kind of apocalyptic scenario, he talks about AI and he talks about Terminator, because breaking down film theory, breaking down the theory of the film, is it probable for something like that? And so he kind of talked about how back a few years ago, and of course it can break it down much better in the video, that somebody hacked a military drone. And interestingly enough, I don't know how to find it, and I don't necessarily endorse that you guys figure it out at home, but there's instructions on how to do it on Google. Like, you gotta dig.
I believe it.
Pull that shit up, Cody.
We about to get out there. Let's go.
How to hack a military drone. Like a knock on our door 5 minutes later.
Dude, go private mode
Man,
first.
I hate to
Yeah,
keep
go
bringing up
incognito.
Black
Go
Mirror,
incognito.
but Black Mirror is
That's
a
so
huge
many-
influence.
so many
Dude, I hate to bring it up,
topics,
man. That's
Well, I just mean, like,
life right
it's just
there.
it's so easy to. But when with the bumblebees, because bumblebees were going extinct, and so they created like the little drone bees,
Yeah.
and then somebody, and there's thousands, and
millions,
millions, and somebody learned how to hack them, and they're just like fucking murdering people with them.
Yeah, using social media,
Yeah,
right?
using social media.
They would put out like a hit for somebody on social media, and then the bees would go and attack them and kill them. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wild.
Wait, when was this?
Phenomenal.
And they actually made.
Oh,
On
it's
Black Mirror.
On Black
Yeah.
Mirror. Okay.
Oh, Spoiler alert. Spoiler
No, but
alert.
that was a crazy idea on that show. How they made them like self-replicating.
Yeah.
So they would just be like grow exponentially. Like they made like the hives were just basically like they would make hives that are like 3D printers and just print more of themselves and like spread out. Like
Well, and see,
I don't
that's
see why that's not even
There's-
possible.
That's
too.
isn't that like Black Mirror's
Yes,
thing?
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah.
So that's why
Like
that
the
show's
writers for that
phenomenal.
show are genius.
For
Yeah.
real, for real.
So I
they
think
just kind of get AI.
I think AI is just. I think we're going to get to the point where we're just too good at killing each other.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier, though. Like, I don't even.
If we're not already there.
I don't think it's going to come to the point where AI is killing people. I think people are just shitty enough on their own, and unfortunately, like the first shit to be developed, like technology always comes out military first. Like military always has technology for about 30, 40 years before the public even has it.
Let's go into another Black Mirror, the soldier one, where they create. So this could be like the first steps of warfare. What they do is they desensitize your senses, and so they take away like smell, and then they change the actual look of your target, so they're not human. They're like
kind of like AR.
Yeah, it's like this creature. So you see this creature, you can kill them and not feel remorse because it's like you don't want to kill humans.
Because it's literally like
it's like we can say that we're shitty, but we're and they say that in the episodes, like we're kind of empathetic. Like we don't really. There might be some people that want to kill, but like for the most part, like if you draft into war, like you really don't want to kill somebody.
I think what I'm saying, like why all these applications happen in the first place is like your typical like your people at the top. They have this certain mindset where they want money and they want power, they want control. They don't give a fuck about anything else. Like that's where most of that mindset comes from. Like, as far as like the normal everyday person, we're empathetic. Like, if we follow traffic laws, just because usually.
Yeah. There's some crazy statistic about that where it's like, I don't know what war it was, like Vietnam or something like that, where they were like 6 out of 10 people like never shot their gun. Yeah. Or maybe it was like World War II or something like that.
That's on the Black Mirror.
It was like 5, 6, or 7 out of 10 fucking people.
I heard that on
like how many people in war like never even shoot their gun? Yeah, because it's just like no one wants. You're looking down the barrel and you see like someone's kid,
there's
someone's
a human
dad.
Life, Right. And that goes into like I've been watching Barry and he's a hitman and stuff, and like he kills these people, but he doesn't see like the repercussions about how it affects the family and stuff, and then he like sees one. There's this guy that he was supposed to kill, and spoiler alert, but he sees like the father and the father break down, and it just fucks him up because he's like, oh shit, like there's another end of this. Rip.
My bad.
And so I think that's a thing too, like with I don't know, I mean I don't want to go too hard into the science of killing, but anyway, so I think that like just creating something to where in wars, even if it's still humans going, it's like it makes it easier to kill. That's like the first implementation of AI. Right. And then
go ahead. Continue.
No, go ahead.
Well, what I was gonna say, kind of talking about like the people in power, who have wealth, who have resources. Inherently, there's gonna be a human instinct that as soon as someone says, "This is yours," you have a defense mechanism to defend what is yours. And so you have people who are used to nothing but mine. This is mine. And so that's why they talk about with power, people don't give it up. People don't give up power because of that inherent human instinct to defend what is mine.
Have you guys heard? I forget which college did this. I believe it was Stanford, but it was like this experiment where they took this group of kids. And it was like a prison experiment. They made some kids the prisoners and some kids the guards.
Right, Vsauce like kind of debunked that in like a weird sense.
Did it really?
Kind of. I mean, not 100%, but he was more of like showing it's like they were telling them. Yeah. They were kind of like influencing them.
Just the idea alone, like, what is it about authority that like changes a person? Because at the start of the experiment they said like everybody's like really friendly towards each other and
but they told them.
But that was set up though.
Yeah, that was the Vsauce thing. Yeah, they were like,
if anything, it
you
proves
need
that
to be a dickhole to these people is pretty much how they were saying it. But it's still like,
I never really got that.
I kind of see where you kind of debunked it. But like, even if you're being told to do it, like, there's still gonna be that part of you that's like, kind of all iffy about it. Like from what I was familiar with on that experiment is that they did start out kind of awkward, like, oh, well, touch your toes or something like that. But then it became like degrading and like actually violent.
Did you get anything on that, Cody?
We'll see.
The statistic.
What do you got? Let's just bring it all up.
The average kills. Okay, so on average kills, I did read something that during Vietnam, it was around like out of 10, It said that around maybe 3 ever shot their
That's
gun.
what I heard.
Yeah.
Man, where did I hear that? Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Black Mirror episode.
And then
No,
after
it's like
that whole,
2 days ago.
them controlling the drones,
Right.
what they're really doing is honestly, you can just literally, like they tell you in this article, and I found it here, it's just a PDF that like, tells you how these drones work. And the way that they control them is just like confusing their GPS signals. So they can make it seem like there's an attack that's somewhere there's not.
Oh, hackers can hack anything. If anything is hooked up to Wi-Fi or radio
Right.
signal, hackers can hack it. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's not like the person who's controlling them is the smartest person in
They
the
have
world.
this-
It's like PlayStation Network always.
they
getting
have this
fucking hacked.
hackathon in Las Vegas every
Damn.
year, and like they dare people to connect to the Wi-Fi, because if you even are on there for a second, you're hacked. Like,
Yeah,
You're done.
you done.
Yeah, that
Wait, you
blows my
said this
mind.
was in Vegas?
yeah. Every year there's a hackathon in Vegas.
That's cool.
Then if you connect
But they
to the
do it
Wi-Fi-
intentionally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Right.
pretty dope.
A lot of it's
I would-
white hat hackers. You know the difference between white hat and black hat?
No.
No.
Black Hat is shady.
Yeah, black exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, black. You have
Throwing
your
up
black hat
braces.
hackers that like try to steal stuff.
Triggered.
And, like, try to steal credit cards and shit like that. Your white hat hackers are the ones that are like doing it to help with like security. Like, hey,
Right.
do this,
Yeah.
and it'll
I'm
reinforce it.
colorblind.
Can't you take like classes on?
Can you pull that
hacking?
up, Cody? That's
college
interesting.
and stuff.
Ethical hacking?
The hacking
Ethical hacking.
in Las Vegas.
My dad taught me about
Like, it
Sounds like a
ransomware.
song, hacking in Las
Look up like
Vegas.
hackathon or something like that.
Hackathon.
You ever heard of
Slasher movie.
ransomware, Trey?
Ransomware?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit's wild.
Yes, I
You
have.
could like steal everyone's information
Yeah.
and be like, give
And
me
then
$6
you
million,
have to give them
bro.
money.
So
That's another Black Mirror episode.
is it?
Well, kind of.
Funny how the CP came to be, right? We really like
Between
Black Mirror.
Black
between
Mirror.
the stage and Black Mirror.
And Westworld.
I think it's just
Westworld,
speculation.
yeah.
Like, I think if you can speculate about it, you're gonna come up with a lot of the same
Yeah.
theories. Like,
Yeah, so the Black Mirror episode is about this kid who somebody hacks his computer for.
Oh
fucking-
God.
Yeah, that one's fucked up.
It is dark.
But yeah, and so like somebody hacks him and sees him jerking off to.
Man, you are spoiling like all of Black
Well,
Mirror.
this is the plot.
Like,
you don't
fucking Netflix
just
it.
don't say how it ends.
All right.
So
Yeah,
far, so good.
Anyway,
This is
so
the
he's
plot.
like, they film him jerking off. They like hack his shit and film him jerking off, and then they, they're like, "Hey, you got to do this shit for us, or we're gonna release this to everybody."
That happened.
Which again is very real. Like they could hack your
Like,
webcam.
Oh, isn't that like the pilot episode?
No.
No, never mind.
There was a news.
They're all just
Pilot's
watch
one
all
about-
of them.
the
Just
pilot's
watch all
about
of
him.
them.
Literally, yes,
Yeah.
every single one of them.
There was a reporter actually that went to this hackathon,
Did you get it, Cody?
and he was covering it. And at this hackathon, someone did the same shit to him. Was able to like
Oh, shit.
pictures of him from his camera and
Oh damn.
Yeah, absolutely. It's called DEF CON.
Nice.
yeah, that's it.
You can allow that.
Very enticing.
It's showing that in some of the this right here in this article they're talking about for 2018, within the first day of everybody showing up, they were like hacking voting machines as well as people's cars.
Oh man, that's such an interesting thing about.
That's gonna be a problem with Tesla.
Yeah. Hacking cars.
Oh, I told you a fun fact.
They're
I'll have to
showing
bring up.
another thing here that anybody that's staying at like the Caesars Hotel, there's a VIP override for the thermostat, and they figured it out.
Oh my god.
These people are really intelligent.
I love humans,
elevator
man.
here. Blue screening slot machine.
All you have to do is
Holy
know how
shit.
something works, and you can exploit it. It's
true.
Well, and like it's interesting. So, like Watch Dogs, you guys remember that game?
Yeah.
And everything's on one system, and so like this dude can, in the game, the guy can hack literally everything because it's all like a unified hive mind. Pretty much to where.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. And like that's true to think about is like things get technologically based, but I feel like
That's
if
true.
AI evolves, like they'll become smarter than us and be able to create like systems that people can't hack. Really.
Yeah.
It's just impossible.
Well, it's like humans have probably invented something that's unhackable, and that's blockchain.
Talked about it.
Yeah, that's
You
beyond
guys
my
familiar
knowledge.
with Bitcoin?
Familiar with it.
Well,
Thought about investing.
the unknown person, whoever invented it, his
Too
big
broke.
thing, like that.
He's unknown.
He's unknown.
Who
Damn.
invented Bitcoin?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, is a genius.
Pull that shit
Good
up,
idea.
Cody.
Cody, I need to know who he is. What's his
by the name
address?
of like something Nakamura. Something.
Get him on the phone.
Satoshi
Oh, yeah.
Nakamoto.
Nakamura.
Bless you.
I would make that my name
Oh,
too.
he's finally been revealed. So
Yeah, that's
he
probably
was,
fake. I don't believe that.
No,
he was.
he said that he
and
didn't.
He's
though.
Australian.
Okay, guys, I was the one that invented Bitcoin.
Right? Yeah.
I'll come out.
It
I'll
all
come
makes
right out and
sense.
say it. Just keep it between
for the
us.
longest time, he was unknown, and like one of the biggest things he developed was something called blockchain, and it's like this.
Blockchain aminos.
But
I guess the best way I can describe it, you can look it up, Cody. Look up blockchain, but the best way I can describe it is that like it's like this code, and it just constantly keeps changing, so it's unhackable.
Interesting.
The beauty of technology.
What's the sorry, Cody, I know you're on that too, but what's the thing about him being revealed? Is that real?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be.
That's something else we can talk
Like,
about.
did
He's
he
on NBC.
In our day,
Did he
and
do
age,
it himself, though?
2016, though?
That's
right?
fake news.
Fake news?
They can't put anything online that's not true, though. So
True.
I don't know. Google it.
So is that like
Is the internet
did
real?
he do it himself?
No, they think he worked with
The phone blows up.
because they have like
Bang, bang, bang.
they have like notes that were being shared like in the early days between like a few people. So it's definitely a team. But like what's funny about that is like they revealed like the people that worked on it with him. Nobody actually knows who the main guy was though.
I've never even thought about it. Who created Bitcoin?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
I mean, I don't own any, so that's why.
But that makes sense. We
Now,
need,
yeah, there was a craze for a while where like crypto was like getting really popular.
that makes sense. The way things are going.
you know the guy who made Snapchat filters? He sold that company to Snapchat for $54 million. But I think I was in the last podcast. I was talking about how they're trying to. You know, the whole like government facial recognition thing, which like they got that down, and then the whole conspiracy that like the 10-year Facebook challenge thing was like to get better at like aging and all that. But I think I said in the last podcast they were like they're trying to get it from like bird's eye view now, where they can like
From the top
ID
of your head,
you
yeah.
from like how you walk and like your
Right.
ears and shoulders and stuff. I'm like that's so
Lord
fucking
That's the
weird.
thing about 5G, man, because the signal's so close, they can like pinpoint your location, like
Yeah.
Right.
know like the size of the room you're in, like
yeah, but don't you have to be pretty close to use 5G?
Yeah.
So I could see that.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Like with 5G enabled, like on your device, like it can basically act as like sonar because it's so fucking close.
Yeah.
Man, I fully believe it.
Cody, can you pull up the stuff about the Bitcoin?
Yes. Okay, so what I'm actually seeing here, a bit more info on it. There was actually an Australian man who claimed that he was the creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, because that name is actually a pseudonym for the person that created it. They still don't know for sure, and they can't prove that it is him.
Right. It's just gonna go down as one of those urban legends, man.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
amazing. That's fantastic.
But yeah, like the team, like I was saying, like the team of people that worked on it with them, like they know each other.
Yeah,
Nobody's met
for sure.
the guy.
Yeah.
True.
What about that blockchain?
Probably just a group of super nerds with the Bitcoin thing.
A group of super nerds.
What if it was AI
Yeah.
that created it?
Damn.
This is it, boys.
That's crazy. Could you imagine creating
Holy
something
shit.
and then you can't you don't want to take recognition?
Let's
for
talk
it?
about quantum computing again, because that could be a possibility.
Quantum computing, yeah.
Because the blockchain itself is fucking insane.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You got something?
Okay, yeah. So what blockchain is an incorruptible, incorruptible digital ledger that is like time stamped with each one. So it's like every transaction that goes through is managed by like a cluster of computers. So it's not owned by like one single software. So all of these computers are working together. So, per se, for someone to be able to hack that,
So-
they would have to hack all said computers.
So it's very much like quantum computing then.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that makes me think about the show Silicon Valley. Like, they talk a lot about a decentralized internet. Do you guys know anything about that? Well, to my knowledge, and I would love if actually you could pull this up, is more
working hard.
Yeah, easy.
Earning that money.
Not in his stripes, but a decentralized internet. Like, I I still,
Earn
to
that
this day,
Bitcoin.
don't entirely understand what that means, but I know that show takes so much time to emphasize on it that it's based...
Are they saying, like, they don't want to have internet from, like, a company? They want it, like...
Right, to my knowledge, it's basically having everything act as a server.
They want one network for everything to be controlled off of.
One network.
Isn't that the opposite of decentralized?
Isn't it? So it's not having... Yeah.
I feel like that's not wanting one or very few people to control all of the internet.
Right,
Which I fully get behind it.
Right, which I thought the decentralized internet was like everything is a server. Everywhere. All the time.
It pretty much already is.
Yeah,
Well, we're not just even talking about like...
What was the shit? Remember that was going down, that was going through like with Comcast and shit? They were trying to get to where you might have to like
Net neutrality.
net neutrality. Yeah.
God.
Whatever happened to that?
Our attention span isn't long enough to even care, Trey.
No, Joe. God,
know
damn,
what I
that
mean?
was a huge thing. And
No,
then it
that, like
just,
for real, that's sad though. It's like that was like a big deal for 2 days, and then they ran out of.
Well, and that's like
and then
the-
whatever happened, no one fucking cares.
That's like the weird thing about like sometimes it feels like they make a big deal about certain things. It's like who knows what they're really like. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, especially not like Huff, but like it is weird like how they'll just like direct your attention and then like who knows what the fuck they're really doing at this, because then like that thing just vanishes and it's like why was this such a big deal? Like why did we forget about?
Well, the whole point of net neutrality was talking about how you could have a company come along, and this company that, like Comcast, that has access to providing internet services, could therefore, to someone with more money, say, we're going to sell you really fast internet for a really expensive price. Or if you are a corporate or company entity, we're going to cut you a deal that's impossible for the average consumer to be able to attain. So then you've got your masses of people just like us, average working everyday Joes, who they're going to sell us packages where they say, this is standard internet. It's crap. But you can pay more for better internet.
Just like phones,
Right. It's basically talking about, they made this diagram that was kind of talking about like lanes of traffic.
Yeah.
And you've got like a carpool lane where like it's just super fast internet and everyone is pushed off into these tiny traffic filled lanes.
Sounds like that new that one new Star Wars Battlefield game or Battlefront or whatever.
Battlefront?
When they're talking about like how you could pay and like the good characters and stuff.
Yeah.
Battlefront
DLC.
2.
Like you just get like we're all gonna get the free version.
Yeah, I mean that was like
And then
a year and a half ago.
Okay, sorry. I don't know anything about video games. I'm a poser.
But yeah, because you bought that game, didn't you? Yeah,
I've
and you
spent a sad amount of time playing Star Wars Battlefront 2.
It just reminded me like get the free version if you want like anything at all.
Yeah.
And they're like boom.
Which
Nickel
it is,
and diamond.
well, and that's like freemium too. It's like freemium will give you something for free, and,
Right.
and then like you gotta buy if you really want. It's like
Right.
Sonic. Like, I've been playing Sonic on my phone.
Yes,
and it's
he
like
has.
at first, what happens is at first you progress and you get those feelings.
Right.
You know, you're like, oh, like I'm leveling up and
I love
everything.
this game,
and
yeah.
then they make it really hard to level up unless you
Yep.
like buy shit.
Right.
To it's like buy these coins and you can level up faster and stuff.
Well, they talk about like the ethics of like, do you remember back when that whole scandal was going on with Star Wars Battlefront 2? That I believe it was a state representative from Hawaii was talking about making downloadable content in that form illegal because it's a targeted content that's towards minors, towards younger people who end up spending, like you hear these crazy stories where you have kids spending like $10,000 on their mom's credit card for Angry Birds. And it's like you're teaching kids at a young age that we're going to give you something that's essentially like gambling. We're going to create something that's so addictive for you that the only way you can do it is by spending money.
It's a South Park
and the
episode.
ethics of that, man. You know?
What do you got, Cody, over there?
Oh my goodness.
I was just wondering, I saw you scrolling through, so.
This barely explains anything.
Okay, that's cool.
But I mean, from a business standpoint, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because you got to make money somehow.
No, I get it, but
Exploit
it's
the
like Tim
children.
said, it is
Yes,
exploiting
exactly.
because it's because kids don't
So how do
understand
you-
the concept of money and stuff.
So how do you like control that?
Well, that's why they were
Is it
talking
Having
about.
kids,
That's why they were
Stop
talking.
having kids.
In-app purchases.
Right.
Like
Well,
that
that's
type
why
of
they
thing.
were talking about like making it illegal for you to sell something targeted towards children that doesn't have something branded on the packaging saying that there are in-app purchases, there is downloadable content.
That makes
and
sense.
at this point, if you're buying it for your child and you let them, spend your money doing this, you've already been forewarned that this is something that can
makes
happen.
sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's still a choice.
That's why they put on Google Play
In-app purchases.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's up to the discretion of the parent at that point. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But even taking,
I feel like it's gotten better now because like now they have like where you can't with a password. You have to have a password if you're gonna make a purchase and stuff. So it's definitely gotten better. When it first came out, I feel like it was a bigger issue and stuff.
I came home to my dog playing Angry Birds for 14 hours.
Did we
bill was
go over
insane.
5G a lot in the last podcast?
Yeah, we did.
I know we
We
mentioned
did,
it.
yeah.
Because
How about that
talking
picture of the
about
black hole? The new
yeah, I
picture of
saw
the black
that, yeah.
hole. Did you see it?
That was phenomenal.
What is it?
In the picture, it's just like
the first picture of the
First
black
ever.
hole. Yeah.
yeah, it's just,
M87.
it's just sitting there like consuming gravity and stuff.
Too real. It is crazy the way they did that. So instead of it being one telescope, it's like, I forget, like 6
Can
or
you-
something
can
like
you
that
pull
all
that
around
shit
the
up?
world.
He's got it
Already
right now.
did. Look at that.
Oh, look at you.
My man. It is crazy.
I love how like most people didn't even care. They just made memes about it.
Yeah, right. Feeling cute might destroy the universe later.
Like, this is a huge like scientific discovery.
Yeah, that's
It's
how
like,
I saw it. Like, that's fucking great. Hell yeah.
We're all just like, ha,
Yeah. What,
memes.
so what does it mean though? Like, is it just like
What does it
It's
mean?
just our first actual picture
The
of life.
first
Is it gonna
ever
help
picture.
us? Is it gonna
First ever
help us
picture.
like figure any shit out?
It might.
I
Like,
think they already did figure out some shit with it.
they might be able to like fine tune some equations.
And
as
it
far
like
as,
confirmed theories. that
Gentlemen,
were
young
in.
Cody has an important announcement about
Oh.
this. Oh, okay.
Needs a second.
It proved Einstein's
Yes, that's
theory.
what I was gonna say. It proved Einstein's theory.
Man,
Which
that's
is great.
fucking nuts to
Yeah.
think about.
and
That this
how long
dude,
ago was he?
1930s.
You know?
Yeah, this
Ain't that some
dude.
shit?
1905 actually was when he came up with the theory.
Good lord. Could you imagine if he had Google?
Right?
Damn, he'd
Jeez.
really get some shit done.
Well, that's how I kind of think of like Elon Musk is like just one of those pioneers, kind of like that. It's like we still have people like that.
And nobody talks about
Thanks.
that.
I
don't think Einstein was.
Nobody talks about Tesla.
Nikolai.
Oh, okay, yeah, his inspiration there.
Yeah, that shit's nuts, man. It's just like, well, and like I said in previous podcasts about AI giving us answers and shit, and just like technology, AI as in just like us learning more, not even like,
More accessible learning.
yeah, like having better telescopes that would put in that field of like technology advancing and stuff to be able to figure out these things, and then you have these great minds.
Yeah. But you gotta think to the point like where AI gets advanced enough to where they're developing technology.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the shit that it's like, and that's going to be in our lifetime. Like AI is going to become intelligent enough to like really go into like giving us theories and shit. And like that's what I'm just like excited for. It's like how
How
much
talked
are we
about
gonna learn?
D-Wave yet?
what's D-Wave?
It's one of the quantum computers.
Me when I go out on the weekend.
Look at D-Wave.
Like every 15 seconds, we're like, Cody, look this up.
Yeah.
Cody, look this up.
Now D-Wave is one of the like the
It's a quantum.
forerunners in quantum computing right now.
They're like company?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't understand that
Read
shit.
some,
at
read
least,
some
but-
cool shit about it because I forgot.
D-Wave Leap.
Well, cool stuff. Well, guys, bringing it kind of back full circle again while we talked about all this stuff, kind of regarding AI, regarding the future, regarding post-apocalyptic, post-llama scenario.
It's a hard word. Unanimously hard word.
Post-apocalyptic scenario.
There's so many syllables.
Post a cock.
It's called post
Post a cock.
Post app. A pock.
Post a cock.
No.
Send nudes.
No.
All that to say, all this stuff we've been talking about, I would hope that what we are able to produce content-wise, be it podcast form, be it video form, be it music, today's topic, talking about consuming gravity, and again, like Brian was talking about, bringing it full circle with talking about the black hole here. I would hope that we, as content creators, can have our content as we try and do each week with this podcast, that it would spur conversations all around everywhere that our content can go.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you guys feel like is really like burning on your mind that you kind of want to either say to the fans or that you feel like is on topic for today?
What we got on this D-Wave? Because I'm interested in this.
It's just a company.
It's
They're just
Nice.
another company with a quantum computer.
Anything cool that is done yet?
No.
No. They're doing shit.
They have
Future
one.
episode.
We'll keep you updated.
I'll find some shit for the next
They
one.
have a quantum computer.
Cool.
That's something cool.
That's a feather in the cap.
That's our next step.
Oh, they only have a quantum computer?
It's gonna be on our
Oh.
Patreon. It's gonna be like $14 billion to invest in
one car.
Archeons. We'll buy a
Archeon's
quantum computer.
We don't know how to use it, but we'll have one.
We'll Google
We
it.
don't know what it even does, but
Google.
No,
we'll look it up.
burning things on my mind that I don't tell fans. Speculation is good. Fucking, this whole EP was an awesome experience to like think about these topics and like get in depth and like wonder like what's going to happen. Like, I think a good amount of speculation is very healthy. There's a point where you can go overboard like me and be like, oh, everybody's watching this. But no, like keep an open mind. Like always look for answers and
Question everything.
question everything. Have an open mind. Enjoy discussions like this where we can all get together and like bring up topics like this that no one's really ever heard before.
Shouts out North.
Yeah. Shout out.
For sure. And like that's just the fun thing about AI is because everything is speculation. Because we are like the generation that gets to witness seeing this thing, and it's like we get to see if we're gonna die or if we're gonna get a bunch of cool shit. Like, and that's cool.
So far, we got cool shit.
Yeah,
so let's
yeah,
keep it going.
exactly.
Do you ever wonder though, like about
Didn't even notice this.
the people in our generation, like people who grew up, being born like in the 90s? Who is gonna be the next Elon Musk of our like millennial generation? That boggles my mind all the time.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know, but I welcome them.
Well, yeah, and it's
Bring it
like
on.
I
it's
just
like
hope they make it out the hood.
It's like going into
Tank.
just about like what technology is going to change the world like the internet did. Like what is that next thing because if you went back like 50 years ago and told somebody about the internet, they would
They couldn't comprehend it.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't
Same
make
way
sense.
we couldn't
So it's
in the
like
future.
what in the future is going to boggle our minds in 2019?
I think a combination of quantum computing and like just integration with your own brain and stuff like that. That should be the next step.
So, yeah, it's just like cool shit, man. That's what.
Man, bring it on. I'm all for it.
Cody's got
It's
something.
so cool.
Okay, so some of the technology breakthroughs they're talking about here that are going to be big to come our way are some like our 3D metal printing. I believe you brought that up one point about building cities. That's going to be an important part of that.
Cheers, mate.
Artificial embryos.
Oh shit.
And gene correction, right?
Yeah.
So this is from quantum computing.
It's just
Future
technology
Just like
breakthroughs
shit
that are.
Oh, okay.
Animal-human hybrids. We're gonna keep them comfortable.
Frogs gay.
Turn the freaking frogs gay.
I can finally be a
Everyone's gonna
furry.
have
Watch
one,
Alex
right?
Jones.
Everyone is
please.
gonna
Watch Alex Jones Joe Rogan podcast episode. Banger.
Maybe.
People
God.
shit on him a lot. Like I think
Just watch it.
It's so
I
entertaining.
think he just needs someone to mediate him.
Yeah, that's the thing is Joe's just like, okay, you can't just say all that
That's
stuff
what-
without
yeah.
explaining anything. He's just like, slow down. But then he says enough stuff that makes sense in a row where you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You're like, what if he's actually making sense the whole time?
Like
keep
Tom
him
DeLonge.
comfortable.
Online privacy.
Tom DeLonge.
Yeah, perfect online privacy. That may be a thing.
Doubtful?
Yeah,
Highly
I doubt that.
doubtful.
Okay,
But
yeah.
this is cool
Yes.
genetic fortune telling.
Oh shit, that is
Oh,
dope.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Like what? You're gonna die from?
No,
Heart failure.
just kind of like
I don't want to know that.
It's kind of like a report.
You would if you were going to.
yeah.
That would be
Oh,
just walk in. Like, what if this genetic fortune telling
It's
thing?
easier to predict the future if you know about your past. Basically.
oh man, that's some sensei
How
shit
big
right
is
there.
my child's wiener gonna be?
Jeez.
And we can cut it. We can shut her down there.
Okay. Well, I guess with that,
No.
it's been a beautiful time, everybody, here on the Archive. Thank you again so much for joining us on another fantastic adventure, breaking down all things from music to the future to technology to things burning on our minds. Fans, we love you so much.
Yep.
On your drives home, be careful. Don't look away. Don't look away from the road. Do it. But we love you so much.
Yep.
Signing off for you once again, the Archeons band. Have a great night. Stay
Cheers.
having a great time.
And we're gonna
Cheers.
go have a talk with Trey.
Peace.
Bye.